Hi, welcome to Big Guy Boards. Today I'm going to be doing a run through of some of the stock shortboards that are available for people that need a bit more volume. I've also done a bit of digging as well, and there's a couple in there that aren't as well known but look really interesting. Here we go. So I'm going to start with Lost. So I've reviewed quite a few Lost surfboards on this channel. I think they're one of the kind of most well-known, biggest brands that do shortboards aimed at bigger people. They kind of started leading the kind of trend with it now, and I think a lot of the manufacturers have seen what they're doing and started following suit. So they do a range of boards that I've reviewed on the channel. So just to give you an example, this is the Uber XL. So I absolutely love this board. I'll put a review up here, a link to the review. But this is a daily driver, and it's just fantastic. It's 6'4", which, considering how much volume there is in the board, is quite short, and it's still got heaps of performance as well. So he does this. This is the Uber XL. He does the L Patron, which is more of a high performance board for better waves. He does a couple of other boards as well, some of which I've reviewed. So yeah, that's a good place to start if you're looking for a shortboard with a bit of volume. Matt Barlas has got a few models out, and you know he's quite a big guy himself, so a lot of these boards he shaped for himself and then tweaked and then put into production. So that's part of the reason they work so well, I think, because it's come from his own experience. So I lost to one of the better known manufacturers that are doing quite a big range of shortboards for bigger guys, but I think one of the first ones that I saw was the Proctor Monster Chief. So they're based in California, and I think they've been doing that model for quite a few years now. I think about 7 odd years maybe. That's specifically aimed for bigger guys. Slightly different to the Lost boards in a number of ways. Their shaper deliberately just beefs up everything. So initially they had quite a wider tail, quite a bit more in the nose, and thickness going right out through to the rail. And his thinking behind that is that being a heavier person, you're more likely to be burying the rail because you're putting more weight behind the turn. So he's deliberately kind of given the rails quite a lot of volume right the way throughout. A lot of the boards start at around 3 inches, and volume wise they go way up there. So they're definitely well worth checking out if you're in the States. Quite hard to get hold of in Europe. I looked into shipping, and to get one shipped to here, to the UK from California, it would cost nearly as much as a surfboard. So I'd love to try one out, but yeah, it's just not really financially realistic at this time. But yeah, they look fantastic, those boards. Mata Surfboards are based in Portugal. So their shaper, Nuno Mata, is an ex-competitive surfer. And he's got a model, the Mata Driver XL, which is specifically aimed at people that need more volume. So if you're going to do a comparison between that board, you can compare it to the L Patron, which is Lost's performance shortboard. So similar length, if you compare the 6'6" in both models, both similar volume. The Driver XL, the Mata board, is an inch wider, but 0.2 of an inch thinner. So they probably perform slightly differently. I'd imagine the Mata Driver XL wouldn't quite be as good rail to rail, but possibly slightly more pinched paired down rails because of the less thickness. So interesting, different design characteristics. I haven't tried the Driver XL, but it definitely looks like quite an interesting board and well worth checking out. The Rusty have had a board out for quite a while now called the Panda. So that is a signature model for current pro surfer William Cardoso. So I think he's around 95, possibly 100 kilos. He obviously needs a bit of volume in his board, and it's always really interesting for me to see the bigger surfers, what equipment they're on. So when he was riding for Rusty, he had his signature model called the Panda. So dimensions wise, and how the dimensions sit compared to other boards I've been talking about. So if we look at the Lost El Patron and the Matter Driver XL, the Panda sits right in the middle. So again, same length, if you're looking at 6'6", same volume for that length, but it's in the middle width-wise of the Driver XL and the El Patron, and thickness-wise as well. So it sits right in the middle. So I guess you could say that would be almost more of a all-round shortboard. Maybe the El Patron slightly better for better waves, and possibly the Matter Driver XL, you could say, with an added width, similar almost to more of a Uber XL. So that's where the Panda kind of sits dimensions wise. Interestingly as well, Rusty Presendorfer, I think I've said that right, I probably haven't at all actually, but the Rusty, their shaper, he's quite a big guy as well. He's done kind of specific boards aimed at people that need more volume in the past. So yeah, that board's been on my radar quite a while. I'd really like to try it out. It looks really interesting. No Logo Surfboards, really interesting manufacturer. Again, they're based in Portugal. So as the name suggests, the surfboards, they have no logo on them. They don't put any money into marketing at all. So they just manufacture the boards, sell them, that's it. Really simple business model. So because they don't put any money into the marketing of their boards, they are really cheap. Massively cheap. So if you were to do a comparison to a Lost board, it's nearly half the price of ordering a new Lost surfboard. So well worth a look. And they do a big guy model, which is called the Big Guy. So interestingly, all the other boards I've been talking about all sit at the same kind of volume. So all around 6'6", they're all around 43 litres, I think. This, the Big Guy, same length, is lower volume. I think it's down by a good 2 or 3 litres. So it's the same width as the El Patron, which is the least wide of all the boards I've talked about so far, and it's a smidge thinner as well than any of the other boards. So therefore a lot less volume. So you could approach that a number of ways. You could say, well, I still want the kind of volume, the same volume, so you could add an extra couple of inches, an inch or so to the board to get the volume you need. You could look at it and say, well actually I'm going to see this as a really high performance model only for when the waves have got loads of push, and you could kind of sit at the same length and just have the less volume in the board. But yeah, definitely well worth a check out. JS have been shaping for Rocky for quite a while, and they've recently released a couple of signature models for him. So the JS Radiant Bull is their more performance model. Dimensions wise and template wise, it looks very similar to the Pizel Ghost. So it's kind of rounded pin. The main difference between the two boards, so compared to the Ghost, the Raging Bull looks like there's a bit more width running through the tail and out through the nose as well. But that looks like a really interesting board. I'm a massive fan of Oki. I grew up watching all his videos. And yeah, it's just a board I'd be really interested to try out. There's not much, at the time of shooting this video, there's not much information out on the internet about either of those boards. There's a couple of interviews with JS and Oki, but apart from that I haven't heard anything. So if you've had an experience riding that board, leave your comments below. I'll be really interested to hear about it. So that's it. That wasn't a definitive list of all the stock boards that are available, but some of the notable ones that I've seen. I didn't mention Pizel. They only very recently they've done, I think the Phantom, they've just done a Phantom XL, but previous to that their boards weren't specifically aimed bigger guy. So there's the Ghost and the Phantom, but they still, for the relative length, they packed in a lot of volume. So that's definitely another board worth checking out, or set of boards checking out. But yeah, very recently, the last few days, I've seen on the forum people talking about the Phantom XL. So that's one more board worth checking out. Yeah, thanks for watching. As always, I invite your comments below, or head over to the Big Guy Boards forum on Facebook for a bit more in-depth Big Guy chat. Thanks for watching.